What's up, guys? Back for another Facebook group Rant Fridays. Let's recap how this is going to go. You should know the formula by now. I go inside Amazon seller Facebook groups. I offer commentary in 5 different parts. Part 1, I go into crazed rant. Part 2, I stir up unnecessary drama. I say things I shouldn't say. Part 3, I give you specific, tactical, actionable Amazon selling advice you can go make money with. Part 4, I do buy or pass. I show you a book on a scanning app that I find in a Facebook group. I tell you what I buy it or pass on it based on the data I see in the scanning app. In Part 5, I give you life lessons disguised as Amazon lessons. I get a little bit deep, a little bit philosophical. Let's get into it. Okay, so this one, you guys, this is not going to be another anti-triggers rant. I'm tempted to go down that road again, but I'm not going to. But it's similar. So this person says, hey guys, I have this VHS. The sales score is 39 with $21 profit. Why are my triggers telling me not to buy it? Okay, it is an anti-triggers rant. I don't know where else to go with it. There is something about setting triggers in scan apps that causes everybody's IQ to drop by about 40 to 99%. I don't understand it. If your scan app is telling you to reject something, it says don't buy a thing, it's because you told it to say that. So what's fascinating is how often people go, this is a great thing. Why is it saying reject? Like, you literally set the triggers, or you just relied on the default triggers, which is a whole other problem. But again, if you disagree, if you're looking at the data and the data is telling you to buy, but then the triggers are telling you to pass, guess what? Get rid of the triggers. You've got the data. You don't need a trigger. The data's right in front of you. And it also raises the question, why are you even looking at the data? If these triggers are so great, why are you looking at the data? In other words, how do you even know that red is a bad decision? How do you know that reject is a bad decision? How do you know this is a good buy? I thought you would bestow the triggers with this like godlike authority. Clearly not, because this is a very common thing in these Facebook forums where people will go, hey everybody, look at this great book I found. Why is ScoutIQ telling me to reject it? It's like you literally told it to, or you just left the default triggers. One of those two, both of which are crazy. So, but again, why are you looking at the data? Again, you can't have it both ways. You can't bestow the triggers with godlike authority and just bow down to the triggers and then also on the side being like, well, I'm going to look at the data too. Which is it? If you're looking at the data, get rid of the triggers. If you have faith in triggers, then be consistent with that. Live and die by the trigger. Don't question the trigger. Now, obviously, you know what side I fall on. Don't use triggers. I don't assign omnipotent wisdom to the triggers at all. I just look at the data. Look, I can't continue living anymore until this gets resolved, okay? Here's a post. This person says, what do you do with a good ranking book that has no eScore? eScore is a metric used by an app called ScoutIQ. I very much dislike ScoutIQ. It is not an app that I think anyone should be using. Chief among the reasons is that eScore, which is a measure supposedly of how many times a book has sold in the last 180 days, is an almost entirely fake number. And for some reason, word about this has not gotten out. Now, I posted a very extensive expose on this on fbamastery.com. If you go to FBA Mastery, type in eScore. If you even go to Google and type in eScore ScoutIQ, I think my article is like the second result. Very easy to find. I still see people asking questions or making decisions based on eScore in these Facebook groups. Now, I cannot credibly go in a Facebook group. It would be considered very bad form for me to go in a Facebook group and post my own article. It would be considered self-promotion. It's just like seen as, it's just one of those things you don't do. It's bad etiquette, right? I want with every fiber of my being to save these people from eScore, okay? What I document, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. What I document in this article very meticulously, I didn't want anyone to be able to say, that anyone poke any holes in my research here, that eScore is almost completely disconnected from reality. It does not, in fact, measure the number of sales in the last 180 days. It is largely a fictional number, and I proved it. My concern right now, and I said my piece on that, my concern right now is that article has apparently not made it to certain Facebook groups. So I'm gonna do something kind of weird here. I'm gonna ask one of you to post my eScore article in the Facebook groups where people use ScoutIQ. And I'm sure people will have existential meltdowns because they base their entire business around this eScore thing. And I just annihilated it. It's just not real. It is not a real number. And I proved it with screenshots, the whole thing. So I'm asking you guys, Is this kind of weird? Is this rude? I don't know. Would you guys mind, it just takes one person watching this to post my article in any Facebook group where people are talking about ScoutIQ. You could even post it. You guys see this post right here? You could even post this in a comment under this. I would be thrilled. They'll probably delete it. I'd be thrilled to see what people say. Please, somebody who's not me, please post my eScore article in these Facebook groups. Good times will be had by all. There will be so many good laughs. I will just love to sit back and watch the comment war erupt. It'll be fun for all of us. Here we go again, just to round out my point. Here's a screenshot from ScoutIQ. 12 million sales rank, 116 eScore. It's fake. You guys, it's fake. It's literally fake. You cannot sell 116 copies in 180 days and have the Amazon sales rank be 12 million. Who are you going to believe? Amazon, the literal source of the data, or fake book flipper boy Caleb Roth and his totally fake eScore? You got to pick. Okay, I love this question. I don't love it, but it's an interesting one. So a library sale up front is advertising they've already scanned all their books for online sales. Is it still worth going? Yes or no? The percentage of Amazon sellers, let's set aside the library, right? Just actual like semi-experienced Amazon sellers that I think do this right in terms of actually being able to determine value as I define it. Two people could have two sellers, 10 sellers could have 10 different ideas. They have the same book, 10 different ideas about whether something is worth it for them. They have 10 different buying criteria. So I'm not saying there's a right way to interpret data and a wrong way, but I would say the percentage of sellers that actually don't leave massive amounts of low-hanging fruit value behind, let's set aside this really subjective stuff, is like the number of sellers that don't, it's like 10%, you guys. You can do this experiment. Anytime you see someone out scanning inventory at one of your sources, just go behind them. Just wait for them to do their thing and just go exactly where they went. If it's shelves, just go to the shelves they already scanned. If it's like, the outlet store and there's bins, whatever, just go where they went and just go through the books that they already went through. It's mind-blowing. Almost inevitably, when I do this, I come away just thinking, what is this person's buying criteria if they left this book behind? If they left this book behind, just finding all of this value that was left in their wake. It's crazy. So now these are actual Amazon sellers that invest in like an app and like, you know what I mean? If we're talking about a library, the chances of a library having the same idea of value, I'm referring to the post here, the same idea of value as you, is like virtually zero. So any sort of institutional scanning program is almost always going to only consider the most valuable low-hanging fruit books to be valuable. They have the most conservative settings. They use programs that come with preset settings. They don't even question because they just don't know the business. So they just leave them on default. And the buying criteria is so stringent, and they don't have the knowledge to go in and tweak it. So 95% of the books that you would have purchased go in their reject pile. So the point of all this is never have the slightest hesitation to go somewhere, whether it's Goodwill or a library sale, that has already scanned their books. Okay, here's another interesting one. I like this question a lot. This person says, would you buy this book and send it to Amazon? If not, why? And if yes, why? I'd like advice. Okay, so look at the app, screenshot here, and it says there's only one seller, I guess two sellers, in new condition. $604 is the price. The book has no sales rank, and the eScore is a completely fake number. I wrote a whole article about that, so eScore is irrelevant. So sales rank is 0. It's never sold a single copy on Amazon. Okay, so what do we do here? Well, this person, I didn't even catch this initially, by the way. I'm going to give credit to the commenter here. This person says, no, for one thing, it's categorized as a toy, not a book. So very astute here. I did not even notice. It is this book is coming up as a toy. And that does happen from time to time. Now, I disagree with this person who says no. I have a whole separate, I think in one of my previous Facebook Fridays videos, I talked about how the difference between looking at a book that has no rank and deciding to sell it versus a book you should not sell. Just because a book does not have a rank does not mean you should not sell it. go watch that video. But getting back to the issue at hand here, my concern is that it's coming up as a toy, but this could actually be an opportunity. So what I would do at this point is what this means. So let's be clear about what this means here. Lots and lots of books and lots of products in general have multiple product pages and multiple product pages across different categories. Now that can happen for various reasons. It's not really necessary to go into. A lot of times people are trying to skirt like restrictions, like a book is restricted, so they'll create a product page for it in toys. Lots of shenanigans can happen. But in any case, this book clearly has 2 product pages. Assuming this actually is a book and this person is not schizophrenic and picked up a stuffed animal and thought it was a book, it's got 2 product pages. I don't care about the product page for a book in toys. I want to do my research and find out what is it coming up in books. What is it valued in the books category? So this is where I would actually pull up Amazon. I would manually type in the title and I would like drill down and try to find this actual book. Now this is an amount of manual labor most people are not willing to do. It really does pay off. Especially, and it's really basically meaningless. So this is priced at $600 in the toy category. In all likelihood, it's selling for $6, FBA in the books category. We don't know, but I would be curious enough that I would just type in the title really quick. Most sellers aren't willing to do this. I think you might be surprised because, again, we know nothing about this book. So if it's a book that I took the time to actually pick up and scan, in other words, I'm always, doing what's called pre-scanning, right? So I'm like looking at all my options and I'm picking up every 20th book or probably more than that, or less than that rather, and scanning it. So if I actually honed in on a book and decided this book has a high likelihood of value, enough for me to pick it up and scan it, I'm probably willing to key it in as well. And keyed in by that, I mean type in the title into Amazon. So I'm going to do that for a book in this situation. And very, very often you will be very, very rewarded for that effort. So to answer the question, would I buy or pass on this book? Well, the answer is it depends what it comes up as when I actually type it in to the books category on Amazon. Okay, guys, we have to discuss some life lessons, some deep wisdom passed down through the ages here. This person says, I come across some art books that have a lot of nudity inside as well as on the cover. What is the policy for sending them in? They have a good sales rank, but blah, I imagine you can't just ship them in with the nudity showing. Any suggestions? All right, look, I do not understand the impulse of Amazon sellers to overthink everything. And it's not just Amazon sellers. It's actually most human beings walking around on this earth sabotage everything they do by just overthinking everything. You know these people, like maybe you're one of them. I don't know. Maybe you are. Everything is a production, right? Where it's like, oh, but what about this? But what about this? But what about this? Listen, if you locked me in a room for 1,000 years, I would never, ever, this thought would never cross my mind to wonder if I can ship a book in. Like, why? First of all, why are we asking the question if you're allowed to sell an art book with some nudity on Amazon? You can literally just go to Amazon and confirm other people are selling it. Doesn't need to be a question here. It doesn't warrant a Facebook group post. Amazon will always tell you what you're allowed to sell. So if Amazon lets you list it, why are we asking the question if you're allowed to sell it or not? I think it's asking a question just for the sake of asking a question. And so this ties into the bigger life lesson of one of the most best things you can do for your success on this earth, in business, in relationships, is just chill out, everybody. Stop the overthinking. 99.9% of the things that you stress about never come to pass. It's all in your head. 99% of the complications that you are just imaginary. Nothing is ever as hard as you think it's going to be. Nothing is ever as complicated as you think it's going to be. Everyone just needs to take 1,000 deep breaths and just repeat after Peter Valley that overthinking is the enemy. All right, guys, we covered a lot of ground. You now have a 3-part mission. Are you ready? Mission number 1, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can build a whole business off of what I give away for free. Do it right now. Number 2, get all my free stuff. Hit the link below this video. Go to fbamastery.com. Get free reports, free web classes, no strings attached. Free means free. Hit the link below this video right now. And mission number 3, take what you learned in this video and go make money with it. This is Peter Valley signing off. See you in the next video.